All right, we're live, boys in America. Welcome to the best hour of your day, assuming your day is very, very mediocre. This is the Eric and Rodney Show with Robin. We were supposed to have Abraham Lincoln today, but he took in a show at the Ford Theater last night. He's unavailable. Too soon? I don't know. If
it's too soon.
It's too soon. I think
What was he watching? Do we know?
Imagine getting killed watching a play. That's like the worst case scenario. He could have been watching the Gilmore Girls. That would have been better, but it was a stupid play.
The New Little Mermaid.
Oh, the New Little Mermaid. I think Abraham Lincoln, if anybody, would be in favor of a black Ariel, right? From what I understand, knowing his politics. Supposedly. All right, listen, we don't have a guest today. It's just going to be us. That really
affects it.
It goes down from 1 to 0. But, Robin, let's cover what's in the news.
Well, actually, should we ask Robin what's going on with him?
Oh, that's right. Robin, you have news. What's your latest news?
I do. I have the COVID, everyone, but I'm okay. And I'm still going to put on a face for the show, which is great because while we don't have a guest, we do have some very good news stories.
Oh, nice segue. Very good. Very good. We're getting better at this 2 weeks in.
And half of these are from Fox, so you know it's going to be a good time.
Ooh, it's a good day. Good day.
Okay. Our first story of the day. There is a growing number of doctors who are foregoing conventional staff roles in favor of temporary and gig work. They say it's better pay, more flexibility, and you have less risk of burnout. They're almost like nomadic healthcare professionals.
Now, gypsy healthcare professionals. That's what you're going to say.
Travelers.
Don't get us canceled.
Now, I thought American doctors were very well compensated. Am I wrong? And why is healthcare so expensive?
Well, hold on a second. Hold on. I have a question. Hold on. Are these doctors doing doctor work on the side, or are they driving cabs?
Well, I was going to say they should combine the gig work. If they drive an Uber to house calls, right?
That's right. Yeah. I'll come on in and give you
from what I understand, if you work full time, you get burnt out. You know, the hours are bad and you don't get weekends off or whatever. If you do this gig work, this side doctor hustle, you get paid 30 to 40% more and can get days off.
Mm-hmm. You could probably also see more people, right?
I don't know, but I'm not.
Is it telehealth or is it? I didn't read the article. I'm just being honest.
Yeah, no, they it's a staffing issue. So they come in when they can come in. They work their own hours and then they take days off. I mean, it sounds
like
a
DOH.
What's that?
It could be a DOH, doctor on hire.
Yeah, exactly. But I just don't like. So here's I guess to Robin's question. Everybody assumes we have this great healthcare system, right? It's why we can't go to a single payer. Blah blah blah. It's the best in the world. Our doctors are burnt out in their part timers. That's not good. It's not like how do we fuck up the system so incredibly bad?
That's true.
You know,
newsflash, Robin, we have terrible healthcare.
Who are the ones that are like really profiting from the healthcare system? Is it the doctors or
it's the provider? It is the health insurance companies.
I see.
I think Roddy would know more about this than I, but I've
read a few things.
As expensive as American healthcare is, our birth rate, our infant mortality isn't particularly good. We're not living any longer. I think this is the first generation that's going backwards. It's extraordinarily expensive, and I've heard that like most hospitals are on the brink of collapse because they just don't have enough money, which is weird because it's the most expensive healthcare in the world. So I don't know. I guess it's the insurers, but who let them fuck this up this bad?
Well, there's a few problems, and I don't know all the answers, but there's a few problems. So the insurers, right, don't want to pay, and are very restrictive on what they pay, and then the doctors charge outrageous amounts, and then the insurance companies pay very little. Right. So the only time that you ever really see, like if someone, like people say, well, the hospital charged me $50,000. That's only if you don't have health insurance, right? And most people aren't going to pay that. So a lot of times, from the provider's perspective or from the healthcare system, as they're called, perspective, they just don't make any money, or they don't make as much money as they could, I guess you could say.
So how do we solve this problem? Because you figure the canary in the coal mine would have been all these, like you see an aspirin costs $80, a bag of salines $200. GoFundMe is the national insurance provider at this point. Like, why isn't anybody stepping in? Can somebody step in?
Well, it's funny you say that because Jeff Bezos from Amazon, perhaps you've heard of him, Warren Buffett, and I think it was Jamie Dimon, who runs a small bank called Chase. Perhaps you've heard of him. They were working on it and they said it was just they abandoned it.
It's
True
too hard.
story. I remember. It was
It's
just
too
they
hard
couldn't
to
figure
get.
it out.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Do you guys ever think that American healthcare could one day be free, or is that just never gonna happen?
Come on.
I think no, on multiple reasons. Obviously, insurance companies are yielding power and they get a lot of money. The other thing is we have villainized socialism to the point of obscurity, even though we enjoy many socialistic programs. So no, I don't think so.
Right. Okay. Well, that's
So walk me through what you guys got. You get a broken leg, you go to the hospital, you don't get a bill. You get a little Billy bill in the mail for $1,000.
no. So in the Philippines, it's kind of the same as America. Like if you don't have the money, they're not even gonna admit you.
Oh, nice.
But on the bright side, the costs of being hospitalized are nowhere as close as how bad it is in America.
But is this on a cot, or is this like a real hospital? Like, what kind of care is this? Okay.
No,
is this
like
the guy that was like plumbing and then was like, you know what, I'm gonna take another job, like you told us? Now he's a surgeon, right?
No, like even the best hospitals in the Philippines don't even come close to how expensive it is in America. And I know this also because my mom is a nurse. So unfortunately, the nurses and the doctors are very much underpaid in the Philippines, which is why my mom moved to Ireland. And now, so like in Ireland, it's completely opposite as opposed to the States, that the doctors and the nurses are only having like 3-day work weeks.
So, okay, they must be getting equally sick. They drunk as shit on, their livers are destroyed, but doctors are able to work 3 days a week. So Ireland's figured it out, is what you're telling us.
Yeah.
Okay, this is the problem with American exceptionalism. A lot of other countries have figured shit out. Like in the Netherlands, they go to school for like 3 hours a day, 2 days a year, and they're kicking our ass on standardized tests. Ireland's figured out how to give doctors days off. Why can't we learn? War with them and take them over.
I don't know.
Fuck.
Yeah, it's very bizarre.
I thought part of the appeal of living in a third world nation is at least you get free healthcare, but not even that, huh? Motherfucker. All right. Well,
doesn't pay to live in a third world country, you learned.
No. Hey.
Well, maybe.
The thing about doctors getting burned out too, it's like, all right, if a waitress does a double shift at the Outback and she's burnt out, perhaps my bloomin' onion gets delivered to the wrong table. If you have a doctor that's burnt out, he's going to leave a scalpel inside you and kill you. This should be a thing that we solve, should it not?
I mean, I see your point, but I also see the other side of it. I mean, if I'm really hungry,
the
bloomin' onion could really get me worked up.
Right. Yeah. So you're anti burnout at every level. I agree.
Is when it involves a blooming onion.
Yeah, of course.
If there's no blooming onion involved, go
then
crazy.
It's inconsequential.
Yeah,
that sauce that they give you with the blooming onion is unbelievable. I don't know what it is, but
and it's funny. One time, I remember one time like years ago, right? They came out and they were like, "This blooming onion has like 35,000 calories or something," right?
Yeah.
It was funny, really funny, because my stepfather's reading the story. He's telling my mom, he's talking to me about it, and this and that. And that weekend, we went to Outback and had a blooming onion.
Yeah, of course.
Remember that story we were reading? And I was like, yeah, that was a great story. We're just eating like animals.
Its caloric count is in direct proportion to its deliciousness. So it doesn't, you know what I mean? That's just an advertising thing. I'm afraid to ask this question, but Robin, have you ever had a blooming onion?
I don't. I didn't.
Oh my God.
Like
well, I will say this. Last weekend is a milestone because this is the first time I've tried Five Guys in Hong Kong. So
there's Five Guys in the old Philippines?
There's Five Guys everywhere. There was a Five Guys in Portugal, a Five Guys in Barcelona, right beside the Burger King.
Yeah.
You don't have any Outback steakhouses? You don't have any fake Australian steakhouses?
Nope. Unfortunately not.
Have you ever seen a blooming onion?
No.
Oh, they're beautiful. I'll pull them up later in the show. Yeah.
They're very good. They're tasty.
All right. So we don't. So just to clear this up, we don't know how to fix the medical industry in the United States.
There's a way to fix it. You just go to. You could probably do Medicare and just have a single payer system, and then have the companies sell supplemental.
That would be great. Okay, so we bang that out. Who do we send a cold email to push this through?
Is Joe Biden available?
He doesn't know.
Joey, write this down.
We fixed it. All right, what's next? What do we got?
Yeah, let's move on to the next one because there's quite a few good ones in here. Okay, so this one's about climate change. And this is the first time we're talking about climate change on the show. So climate change has big insurers concerned. We all know California is always on fire. Florida and Louisiana are constantly being hit by hurricanes.
Mm.
And so now we're expecting insurance rates to rise by 43% this year alone. Now, I have to ask this because I hear a lot of biased news, but do Americans still believe climate change is a hoax?
Okay, well, I have a question.
That's a good question.
How can there be real world implications to something that's fake? I mean, climate change is obviously a left wing conspiracy.
That's how deep it goes. That's how deep it goes.
Yeah, now the insurance companies, they're in on it.
The insurance companies are now in on it.
Yeah, they're arbitrarily charging 43% more for climate change.
These floods, they're not even real.
No,
Right?
the fires
They're
are fake.
actors.
Yeah.
Right.
It's drones. Yes, Robin, to answer your question, half the country still doesn't fucking believe this, even though, so they said, so it's not only California that's having problems. It's Florida, Texas, Colorado, Louisiana, and New York. So it's not like heavily populated states. You know,
No,
this is
very
fine.
small places. Yeah.
Very small places. It's essentially 6 Rhode Islands. So who's to worry? This is why it makes sense that we're having less children. Remember earlier in the show, 2 weeks ago, there was a problem with not enough people. Nebraska is going to be beachside soon. We're all going to have to move to the middle of the country. So it behooves us to have less of us.
It'll be the Iowa beach days.
Iowa beach days is going to be gorgeous.
Right.
Surfing on the Kansas shoreline. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, one thing that's interesting to me, though, right, is that I always found interesting with climate change is that you always have scientists, right? Except for that lady, the young, what's Greta, whatever her name was. She was obviously, I don't think she's a scientist, right? But you always have scientists and people come on talking about how climate change and how it affects us and this and that. And then you'll have one guy who like absolutely has no education whatsoever. He's like, I don't believe in it.
Yeah.
Right. You like you have doctors come on and climate, you know, I don't know whatever they are, but they're much smarter than we are. And they're like, listen, this is what's happening. They're like, he's lying.
Yeah.
You know what he's talking about. He's playing a game.
Okay, so for example, the United States represents 5% of the world population, but we consume 90% of the world's pharmaceuticals. You know why this is? Because we trust doctors when they say, put this in your mouth. We don't know research. Like you go to the average person, what's in the pills you take? I don't know, my doctor said. But then doctors say COVID's a thing and we should probably wear masks and stay away from each other. Like bullshit. Lies.
He's playing games, they're lying.
Yeah. So we default to experts when it comes to airplanes, plumbers, mechanics, life in totality, except it stands in the face of some weirdo belief we have because our political leaders tell us to. That's climate change. Yeah. Like if a whole bunch of very smart scientists go, hey, listen, we're fucking up the place we live and we're all going to die. And you go, no, that's stupid.
I feel like the climate change will only be really tackled like once the big companies like their profit margins are starting to be affected, but until that happens, like no one's.
I wouldn't say their profit margins are affected. I would say until they figure out how to make profit.
Yes.
Yeah, that's true.
The reason their profits are going to be affected, right off the bat, is that there's going to be less people to spend money on them because we're dead from fires and looting and hoarding while we all move to the middle of the country. Has no one seen The Walking Dead? It's less about the zombies and it's more about the humans killing you for resources. Right?
Well, the zombies are the politicians, right?
Exactly. Yes. It's essentially a Bible story. It teaches.
The first example was our news story the other day, Delta, profiting off the greenwashing thing.
That's right.
Right. Yeah. We're using
You're getting it. You're going to fit in well here. You're really understanding it now.
Yeah. Are you getting a better sense of the United States through these news stories and our discussions?
I am, and it's quite sad because I used to like really look up to the United States, and I was just
so did I.
Hello, Melissa.
Yeah, listen, for the first 12 years of our education here, they indoctrinate you pretty good, but then they put you into the real world, and you're like, oh Jesus.
Yeah. It's funny though. Anywhere you go, or anywhere I've ever been outside of the U.S., and they're always say, "Well, where are you from?" And you tell them from the U.S., and they're like, "Oh, I want to go," or they either want to go, they want to move there, or they have 500,000 questions.
Mm-hmm.
Right, and it's like, how does it? And when you tell them, they're like. I was talking to a guy recently on vacation. He's like, "You don't have free healthcare." I said, "What do you think this is?"
It angers me because when I go abroad and I'm obviously American, they ask whether or not we're all fat and have guns, and I say yes because we're all fat and we have guns. It's goddamn cesspool, Robin. Never come here. Stay far, far away.
Eric says to them, "Hold my shotgun."
Oh, Melissa, for the worse, of course. I looked up to America.
Yeah. Who do you look up to now?
He looks down on him.
Have you been shattered by
Shattered my dreams.
Yeah, no, there's not much to look up to anymore. Probably like countries in Europe. What was the happiest place on Finland? Finland.
I thought the
had a
happiest place on earth was Aruba.
No,
Or no,
just
that's
for
one happy
American
island.
tourists. Yeah.
Yeah.
Somewhat ironically, the happiest places in Scandinavia also have very high suicide rates. So
What?
You were just at the happiest place, Robin. You were at Disney World or Land or.
Yeah.
So
were you happy spending
you tell us.
$18 on a churro or whatever? What do you guys
That-
do? You don't have churros.
That's not so much. It was.
Was it
something.
expensive?
Yeah, no, Disney's very overpriced.
Well, so that's how it is in America too.
That's everything.
Yeah, it's everything. You want a bottle of water? $15.
Yeah.
You don't have the money, straight to jail.
You want eggs?
Can-
300.
Can't you drink
Yeah.
tap water over there?
Are you on drugs? Get out
Um,
of here.
you can't.
No.
So when I sold my last house, I had to treat the water for arsenic, or the buyers wouldn't buy it. So just so you know, the well water was full of poison.
You didn't have any old lace, did you?
Y'all, yeah. Oh, the peace sign is the middle finger in England. This is why we broke up with them. That's outrageous.
I did not.
That's outlandish.
Once again, I must stress anytime we try to say something positive about England, they believe in kings and queens and princes and lords. They're cosplaying. The entire country is cosplaying Game of Thrones. Someone needs to tell them to stop. It's fucking ridiculous.
You know, Harry's on trial now. He's in a trial because someone hacked his cell phone or something.
Didn't he lie about getting run off the road by American paparazzi?
Here's the other thing that's interesting about them is that I recently read that they were going to stop the national worldwide privacy tour and they're going to disappear.
Oh, that's so we have a queen of the United States. I mean, you're better than the dead one. Much more attractive. She was a nightmare. So what's happening? Harry and Meghan are going away.
Yeah, so that they were on the worldwide privacy tour.
Yeah.
And apparently after all of this has happened now, they've decided they're gonna, I don't know, take a break from the worldwide privacy tour and have a little privacy.
Are they doing okay with cash? Because I heard they don't get their allowance from the queen.
Well, my understanding is that he sold his book rights, and I think she has a book coming out too for several $100 million. So I'm unclear on how you could burn through that.
Yeah.
They did have a podcast on Spotify, but I don't think it went anywhere.
Nobody tuned in, unlike the Tucker Carlson show, which we'll get to it.
maybe Tucker Carlson should have them on his show.
Oh my God, can you imagine? Holy shit. I'd watch. I'm not even really sure. Like Meghan Markle, people don't like her over there because they're racist, right? Is that a thing?
Yeah, well, that's what everybody said. I got to tell you though, I don't know about her personally, but I thought that this is terrible. But I thought that show Suits was great. No, I'm serious. I'm not being funny. Like I used to love that show.
Yeah.
It's not on now, but I mean, people are like, "What do you know about Meghan Markle?" She was a pretty good paralegal or lawyer or whatever she was in the show.
She's hot.
No, I mean, I don't know anything about her. Like people are like, "She's the devil" and this and that. And I'm like, I don't know if she's the devil, but she was pretty good on that show, Suits.
Do we know why? Okay, race aside, people don't like her. Is there any particular reason besides the racism? Do we know?
I think it's because she married Harry.
And we like him or we don't like him?
No, I think. Well, I always thought people might be jealous. I don't know. I don't know why people don't like her.
I think it's because the British and the royal family really like having arranged marriages, and like Meghan Markle is just kind of like an outcast to them.
I see.
She's an outsider into this fake world they've created.
Yeah, it is interesting how the British royal family doesn't have as much political power anymore, but they still have like so much resources and wealth that's like accumulated like over hundreds of years. Like the place where they live in has hundreds of rooms. It's insane.
Yeah, it's amazing what hundreds of years of colonialism, violence, war, and slavery will get a country. You guys should have tried it. It worked out really well for us. I mean, we're driving into the ground now. We had 100 years. It was fantastic.
Yeah.
For white people. All right, what do we got next? I don't think there's anything more in climate change.
Okay,
Everyone believes in it now.
There's nothing that's gonna beat this one.
Hold on. The ginger is the outcast in the royal family. That's weird. Probably because they have no souls. Go ahead.
So the next story is from Fox. A group of witches have been spotted in Canada. that have been feeding on deer carcass in some sort of sacred ritual. They
Wait,
have also,
I missed this part of the
I
story.
am not done. They have also been spotted giving Catholic students magic crystals as icebreakers.
Oh, hold on a second. Is this 2 stories? Because this sounds like 2 or 3 stories in one. And first of all, who's witnessed them? The Fox News has witnessed them? Who is this?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
No,
Can you back up? Witches are eating crocodiles in Canada?
Is that what's happening? Crocodiles?
Random deer carcasses.
Oh,
or
deer. Carcasses.
like
not
raw
crocodiles.
wildlife.
I see.
I mean,
And, so they were recorded by different homeowners in the areas that have set up cameras along their trails and stuff.
there's a clip of witches eating raw deer carcasses.
Is that right? There is?
I don't know. I missed.
Well, so here's the question I have. Hold on a second. Let me just ask you guys a question because I know my answer. If you were in the middle of the woods, right, and you came up on a group of women or anybody, right? But I'm assuming these are women. Are women witches or
Witch, yeah.
I don't
think
want to be.
right?
Right?
I think you have to be a biological woman.
Well, let's assume, right, that you're any group of people, right? Humans are eating a carcass. I'm out.
Yeah.
What about you two? I'm not going to be like, where's my phone?
Another thing, on these videos and images, these women are naked.
Oh. Well,
So,
how do they know they're witches then? Why, you know what I mean? Why are we sure they're not Jewish? Like, what makes? How do we know? I mean, I think that's a leap of faith.
Maybe they were filming Yellow Jackets.
Yeah,
There's a lot of right. All right, I got to go back. Somehow I missed that part of the story. The part of the story I did read though is that a counselor got fired from a Catholic school for inviting 3 witches because they were entrepreneurs to teach like an entrepreneur class. So she got fired for which it is amazing what you will get fired for in the Catholic Church and what you were allowed to do in the Catholic Church. Don't we think that it's
This is a different story, correct?
Well, Fox likes to smush them together.
I see. Okay, because this sounds. I mean, I'm telling you, it's like 5 for 1 with Fox.
Yeah, so, I would watch. If they're all chicks.
Or are they filming Jackass 24?
That's true.
Right.
I don't get like, aren't you not allowed to eat dead deer in the woods? I mean,
you know what's interesting though is like when you comb through the channels, right? Maybe you do, maybe you don't. You see like Donald Trump's done this headline, or apparently now there's a big issue with Russia blowing up a dam, but not at Fox.
Yeah.
Witches are eating deer carcass and someone's recorded it on their Ring doorbell. Is that what happened?
I think so. That sounds about right. The Catholics too. It's like I can say this because I'm as a confirmed Catholic. A big part of church every week is a mock cannibal thing where you pretend to eat and drink Jesus. That's very, very good. But magic rocks are very, very bad. Rosary beads, very good. Magic rocks, very bad. I mean, it's incongruent.
What? Wait, there's rocks involved, or the crystals? You said.
I'm insulting her crystals by calling them rocks.
Now, are the crystals of the method kind?
let me say. So part of the defense of the witches, she goes, they were just basic crystals, nothing fancy. So Which begs the question: what is a fancy crystal?
That's right. I have a funny personal story about this. Like 2 years ago, I was at a bar and I was talking to this girl who was like really into manifestation and rocks and crystals, and like I manifested for the past 2 years, like my entire career. And then like I kept talking to her because she was pretty, and then eventually she like whispered in my ear, she's like, so don't tell anyone of this, but I'm a witch and I practice witchcraft.
Well, what did you think leading up to that when she was manifesting shit? I thought she was going to go, don't tell anybody, but I manifested a penis. You're never going to believe.
Did you guys do some manifesting later at her place or yours, or what happened?
I know.
We need answers.
No, I was
It's
freaked
a family
out.
show.
Yeah.
I was freaked out.
I'm just confused. Okay, witches, I'm sure this isn't a thing, but they certainly dress like they should have magic powers, and I've never seen anything. They don't even do like card tricks. So I'm confused. You know what I mean? They used to fly on broomsticks or something, but they're not.
I went to high school with a couple of kids who thought they were witches and wizards, and I don't know. They talk a lot about spells and whatnot, but I guess they never got the popularity spell. I don't know. That's foolishness. If I walked into the woods and saw somebody eating any kind of carcass, I would politely disengage and literally see. They would be like, "Wow, this is the fastest guy we've ever seen. Let's get him in the marathon, right?" Because I would be gone. No way.
We don't think that maybe perhaps a group of naked women pretending to eat a deer is just good for a news story. We think this is a legitimate problem.
Yeah, it could be. It could be fabricated. I don't know. Well, if you
now,
go
there's
back
a twist on it. Wait, there's a twist on it. What if it was a group of men, grown men, who are covered in deer urine, loading a deer carcass into the back of a truck?
I mean, that's. I think that
sounds like a Thursday.
It's called hunting, right?
That's hunting, right? Oh, I just wanted to make sure.
I think their issue here is the preparation. That it is called Wicca, but it's less funny if we say Wicca. Listen, we respect it. It's not hilarious. I don't. Do we have to believe in anything? Can't we just all believe in nothing? Wouldn't that be better?
Well, we can't all believe in taxes. Because those are real.
Climate change, fake, taxes real.
What's the ritual?
All right, we need to figure out how to pull up video here because I'm very curious about this. That was in the.
I mean, if you go back to the article, they're kind of just naked, but they are wearing some kind of like ceremonial robe that's partly covering their face and like, but for the most part, they're still naked.
How did I miss? How was I so focused on the icebreakers and less on the deer? Talk about burying the goddamn lead. All right.
Yeah, that's wild.
Oh, the redhead is Wiccan. No, there's very few things we can still make fun of in this country, but Wiccans seem to be one of them. They're just not. They're not big enough. You know. Yeah. Which is weird because they have all the magic powers, all the crystals, all the potions.
Yeah, it's always weird when people tell you they have this magic power and they're like, "What's your name? What's yours?" You know. Or what's funny too is they'll be like, "I can," this one show I was watching, and the lady was like, "I help the police find missing people and this and that." Oddly enough, write down the lottery numbers for tomorrow.
Yeah,
I will change our lives.
Yeah, that seems to be the one thing they can't do. Is anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
I don't know. Oh, she thinks they're leprechauns. I mean, has anybody looked into the possibility that they were just leprechauns?
That could be. Or aliens.
Speaking of aliens, we can't get there yet. All right, what's next?
Or maybe it's just some far right ritual.
Yeah. It's weird to me how America, like, by far has the most amount of like groups or cults that are just like present. Like we don't have that. We don't have that in Asia or Europe. Like it's only in America.
Because you guys actually worry. You don't have time to worry with this kind of trivial stuff.
Yeah. I was just watching, Shiny Happy People. Have you seen this? This new cult?
I have, with the Dugars.
Yeah. That's another. I had no idea they were. I mean, I knew they were Christian fundamentalists, but I didn't know there's like 8,000 subsets of Christian fundamentalists. Yeah. I had no idea about this one, but they seem pretty big.
Well, here's an interesting fact too that I did a little research in, and I think I'm accurate on this, but you guys can check. Oddly enough, Lifetime is the one that had the Duger show, right? Or the TLC or whatever it was, which is on by Lifetime.
Yeah.
And oddly enough, the documentary was on our friends over Amazon, but I think it was produced. By Lifetime.
They're double dipping, baby.
Yeah. So.
Here's the thing with a cult. I'm for it, but we have to stay away from the weird sex stuff because the weird sex stuff is appealing as it is.
You know what? That's what always sinks it. You know what? You're right. That's what I always see these documentaries, and they're like, it was great. It was going well. They were making trillions of dollars, no taxes.
Yeah.
And then the
weird sex stuff. Always. Yeah. They're always taking wives and sleep with kids. You can't do that.
That's right.
It's fine.
We just have a religion of just good stuff, right?
Our cult should be based on not paying taxes. That should be the entire thing, right? We're just a religious organization.
Well, we'll get canceled immediately.
I know. So then they try to do weird stuff.
I think the IRS would cancel us immediately.
Yeah, see, this is I agree with you. The weird sex stuff is a big part of the appeal, but it's always what brings you down.
Mm-hmm. You know, another weird thing with like the cults that I find is that they're always like, well, you can't talk to your family anymore. Here's a couple of rules. No weird sex stuff, nothing with the children.
You can talk to your family.
You know what? I don't care who you talk to. Just make sure that you bring the money with you on Sunday for the plate.
I think you're onto something. Because name a cult that's not doing unbelievably goofy shit. You just can't, right?
And here's another thing too. If I had a cult, right? We don't care about your sexual orientation.
That's a bold move.
Is Scientology considered a cult?
I think so.
Okay.
I mean,
speaking of Scientology, Danny Masterson, did you see that he recently was charged in I think for sexual assault?
oh, he just for rape. He's
He
in.
got like 12. Yeah, rape. He got like 12 years or something.
He's high up there. Like the Scientologists, they used to have a pretty steady roster, but not anymore.
Now it's just Tom and
John Travolta.
John Travolta and John. I think I don't think he's doing much. He's doing T-Mobile commercials.
Yeah, it's been a long.
He's in a weird trajectory, right? Like he at one point those two were like
I know
on the same trajectory. Now he's doing T-Mobile commercials, and Tom Cruise is doing Mission Impossible 35.
Yeah, and no one gives a shit about him anymore.
That's right.
Poor cult. Yeah, I think that's it on this. What's next?
Okay, the next one is actually quite interesting. So this one's from BBC.
Reputable.
They say
This is about a crocodile at the zoo in Costa Rica has managed to produce a fetus that is 99.9% identical to herself. And this is the first time that a crocodile has self-reproduced.
You know what that's called? Virgin birth. You know what that means? Jesus has come back as a crocodile. Oh, the Savior is here.
Lyle crocodile tried to tell us.
Yes, he was the canary in the coal mine. The bad news is that it was stillborn, so in 3 days it'll rise again. If you're according to
Sure.
this is such a stupid
Where's
story.
the story from? Fox?
For BBC.
BBC. So it's real. Got it. Okay. So
yeah.
All right. So yeah, that's interesting. Nothing
Exclusive. So like it also happens to several species of birds and fish and other reptiles. But I mean, this is like solid evidence that mutation and evolution in animals is still, although it's very slow, it's still there.
Yeah. Imagine, so they did say that in order for this to happen, there needs to be suitable mates in the vicinity. So you need like a male within, shouting distance. And I just think it's horrifying because, are you familiar with the term incels? Do you know what incels are?
Incelibates?
Yes. So imagine if an incel gets close to an anime chick and gets pregnant and they start reproducing, that's going to be a real problem.
Now, is this at Comic-Con or is this at the furry convention?
We need these virgins not getting pregnant no matter where they are. All of them need to stay.
That whole I don't understand. So explain to me. So incels they're not voluntarily or they are voluntarily celibate?
I believe they're non-voluntarily celibate. I think they'd like to get laid, but they cannot.
No. So incelibate actually stands from the word incelibate, involuntary celibate. That's where the word came from.
So I'm confused. Are we talking about incels or Andrew Tate fans? Is there a difference?
Not mutually exclusive. Yeah, I don't know. It's a weird segue from pregnant crocodiles, but yes, I don't.
I was gonna say, yeah.
Do you have those, Robin?
Pregnant crocodiles?
Incels, yes. There's quite a lot of them here, well, they all seem to be like very interested in like Japanese anime culture.
What about that speaks to dorks? I don't understand this.
I don't get it, and I think like a major problem of it. Like I throw no shade towards people who like anime. I think it's fine, but the thing I don't appreciate so much about anime is like it's so exaggerated, and it creates like a barrier of like what real human interaction really is. Yeah. And once these people get hooked on like anime interactions, they're like completely alien to what real human interaction is.
Yeah, there's a real subculture of like socially awkward, unfuckable Americans who think they're a plane ticket to Japan away from getting laid. But they're because they're watching cartoons.
I'm so confused. So hold on. There's a group of people in the world who have sworn off sex. I'm trying to understand what's happening here. And these are men and women, young people. Who are these people?
They haven't chosen to swear off sex. They've accepted that society does not want to fuck them.
And why is this? They're not attractive, or they're nervous? Like what is the? I'm not being funny. I don't understand this at all. What's happening?
It's because their addiction to anime has like really perverted what real human interaction is supposed to be like.
$1 billion idea here. Write it down.
They're completely alienated.
We match them all together. Start a dating app. for people that love anime. We could even call it anime love.
Okay. Can I tell you the problem
And we
here?
match them.
There's going to be one female for every 800,000 men.
Okay, so it's just men then. Okay, I was confused. So it's just men.
Yeah.
Yeah, the female
Well, I can't help
community
them.
is not very. It's not.
I was gonna say, like, there's females that have sworn off sex and can't seem to meet a man.
No. You know how all the dorks in high school who didn't get laid, like you know those guys, right? Well, now the internet exists, so they can all bitch about how they're not getting laid.
I see.
Yeah. Yes, yes, vanity and fuckability is a big part of my. I don't know how well I'm doing, but you know,
We try.
it's
We like to keep it at the forefront
yeah, give it at the
of
forefront.
our mission.
Yes, call me crazy. I just real women I prefer over cartoon drawings that have sex with tentacles.
I've never seen anime before in my life. I just thought it was silliness. And isn't it in Japanese?
Yeah.
It's in Japanese, right?
It is.
So you don't even know what they're saying. So it's literally cartoons. So
Yeah.
That's like when I was in high school, people were like, "You want to come over and play Magic?" No, I don't. Mm-mm.
The other thing that's like, so to Robin's point about throwing shade, I don't want to shit on people that watch cartoons because I've brought up a million times. I love Rick and Morty, The
Oh, I love
Simpsons,
cartoons, yeah.
in South Park, but it has never occurred to me to want to fuck Lois Griffin. You know what I mean? I don't know why these people. You have to add the weird sex thing. Just
Well, hold on. What about the sister, Meg?
Meg. Oh yeah, she's totally fine.
I'm joking. Yeah, it's so weird.
Anime porn with subtitles has to be the worst.
That's like a
we're
prison
gonna go
sentence,
back
right?
to
Watching that.
This is going to segue back into the conversation about bronies, and I'm not really for it.
We've covered a lot of sexual deviance in the last 2 episodes.
That's true.
No, that is true. We might be onto something.
Where you must have been slutty Morty, right? You can't just be normal Morty.
Is Morty the doctor? I don't watch it enough.
Morty's the little boy.
Okay.
The high schooler. Way to go, Melissa. Yeah. So there are Filipino incels. So they can take. I mean, there's got to be in every country then, right?
Which is strange to me because like we're supposed to hate the Japanese, but apparently these incels are like absorbing Japanese.
Wait, who's supposed to hate the Japanese? Philippines?
We are because of the war crimes they did, and just not even like 60 years ago.
Listen, I drive a Mercedes. You were allowed to forgive. You know what I mean? Like things happen. You know, Kim Jong-un loved American cinema, but he fucking or Kim Jong-il. You know, so like it's okay to like the entertainment of your.
Well, the other boy likes American stuff. He's smoking cigarettes and stuff, right?
Yeah, they all did. Yeah,
Kim Jong-un's.
Disney. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like how she's doing a deep dive into her Morty costume. Can we get a picture? I'll pull it up.
Yeah.
Slutty Morty.
I wonder if Kim Jong-un is he still working on the nuclear weapons, or is he? We don't know.
Didn't both Kim Jong Un and Osama bin Laden have like very good American?
Yeah. Osama liked Western culture. I'll tell you this: like we make good movies. Our music's good. Like I don't want to sound Jingle West. Like we fucked up a lot, you know, slavery, unjustified wars. But man, the Avengers movies are great. So if you don't like those, you have no soul. I think Hitler was into Disney, right? Like our entertainment. Wow, woo, great.
Yeah, we are entertaining. Pretty good at entertaining.
We don't have any doctors. The world's burning. Climate change, school shootings, but Hollywood. Thank God.
That's where it's at.
That's where it's at. Speaking of Hollywood, right? Can we segue into this now? The greatest show in the history of television has premiered on Twitter.
Very cool.
And no one knew about it.
Yeah.
I wish that was the case.
You may have not. You may not have heard of it. I got to tell you something. I don't know what has happened in the last 2 months, but Fox has really taken a turn, right? I mean, really, they have with the news stories and the talent.
Yes. All right, Robin, you want to intro this, and then we can talk about our favorite 10 minutes on Twitter.
Good. So for those of you who don't know, Tucker Carlson, former host of the Tucker Carlson Show on Fox, has now released his first episode on Twitter. It is called Tucker on Twitter, where he hosts a show to talk about all parts of the political spectrum. You guys like Tucker Carlson, right?
Absolutely. Yes, big fans.
Oh my God! Did you?
I'm just confused because like he came from Fox, right? So shouldn't you be inclined to dislike him or?
Oh, we do hate him. No, we do. We like making fun of him. We're excited that he has a show that we can make fun of. If he was to simply disappear, we'd have to make fun of whatever asshole, and it just wouldn't land as well. But holy shit,
they're not as well known. Yeah.
Yeah. Did you watch this 10 minutes?
I did.
It is so.
He covered a lot.
He covers a lot, and it's so batshit crazy. And the way he is so condescending about being so fucking wrong about everything is unbelievable. Tucker definitely has a very tiny penis. Oh, thank God we talked about Tucker's tiny penis. So right off the bat, and listen, I don't know what insider baseball we want to get, but he opens up with like the idea that Putin would never attack his own country and how outrageous that is. The way he rose to power is he attacked his own country, blamed it on Chechnyan rebels, and then went to war with Chechnya. This is a well-known fact. And then
but he's not using that play anymore. Is that what you're saying?
He's using the same playbook.
He's going with the same play. That makes sense. Got it. Okay.
But he's so indignant about, because he's an idiot. Holy shit, kid. Like, that's what he did. Oh, my God.
Wait, while you're on that, can I just bring up one point that I thought was rather interesting? Mm-hmm. Wouldn't you like to be referred to as sweaty and rat-like?
He's so mean. It's such a dick.
That was great. He's sweaty and rat-like.
Yeah. And then
I've never heard that.
Oh, so then he brings up Zelensky's war on Christianity. And I was like, no. So then you look into it. So he shut down a Russian Orthodox church who was giving money to the Russians and handing out pamphlets to Ukrainians to join the Russian cause. I think if you're at war with a country, you're allowed to kick out their church. Are you not? Like, is that an ask?
I mean, they usually kick out the diplomats, right?
Yeah.
When you're having issues, yeah. So
I don't know if you know this about the United States, but when we in World War II, we sent the Japanese to internment camps. This guy just goes, "Hey, you're not allowed to have a church here while we're at war with you," which seems, I think, reasonable.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not to mention this war on Christianity. 78% of Ukrainians are Orthodox Christian. So does it make sense to go to war with your own country to the tune of 78%? Right. Tucker Carlson is awful. He's an awful liar, but there's a lot to learn about this show. We have to be worse. If we want ratings, we have to say more outrageous shit.
Well, I'm just curious how, we're pretty good, but how do you segue from a sweaty rat-like fella to UFOs?
Okay, this is the other thing. So he goes off on this huge tangent about UFOs and how none of the national media is covering it. So he goes, yeah, you go anywhere. They're talking about racism, which is like, yeah. But then, you know who didn't cover the aliens today on their homepage? Fox News. So like, okay, so Tucker, my dear, if no national media is covering aliens, perhaps it's because it's fucking bullshit.
Oh, here's the other question I have. Hold on now. Here's the question I have. And I don't know the answer to this, so I can't say it effectively. But how many times has he covered the aliens when he was on mainstream media? Yeah. It's always baffling to me. Like the other host that left, Megyn Kelly or whatever. She's like, the mainstream media. You all were on the mainstream media. Yeah. You were the mainstream media.
He says the mainstream media succeeds because they lie at full volume. He got fired for lying at full volume. It's the brilliance of the 10 minutes because it's just fucking so maddening, so stupid. He does the things he's telling you are ridiculous to do. It's going to be
an everyday show though. Or do we know? Or is this just, because I saw it last night and, or actually I'd heard about it, rumors of it. And then no one knew. I
don't know if it's going to be every day, but here's the thing. When I watched it, it had 62 million views.
So no one's seen it.
Oh my God. But I think Fox News is the highest rated news channel. And I think if they get 3 million a night, that's gigantic. 62 million is unfucking believable.
I remember Donald Trump was saying one time, right? And I didn't know what he was talking about. When this is before, he became president, he was on The Apprentice and he was on TV talking about ratings. And he's like, 3 million people tuned in or, whatever it was. And I remember thinking, that seems like a lot of people. 62 million people. That's like everybody, right? I mean, isn't that?
Yes. You know what's fucked up? So I listened to a This American Life recently where they were talking about sort of like before the internet, before streaming, we all kind of watched the same thing. And the guy used the example. He goes, Will and Grace was the last like huge sitcom that the whole country watched. He goes, for perspective, at Will and Grace's height, 17 million Americans would tune in. It goes, if you look at The Walking Dead, which was, on AMC, it goes, they were thrilled if 1 million people tuned in. So that's how
people love that show.
Yeah, it was a huge show, right? When it first came out, everyone loved it. It was a massive phenomenon. But to show you the difference between what people are watching then and way back then, 62 million is unfucking real under any circumstance, let alone today. So
I mean, here's the thing too. I can tell you this: if Tucker, and again, right? I'm not a TV guy, but if Tucker was on Fox News or any channel and he got 62 million viewers, that's a network.
Yeah.
Right.
The only solace is that like the XFL got good ratings the first week and then everyone stopped watching. So it could be that people are just tuning in for like the, whatever. It's the new thing.
Sure.
Hopefully that's the case, but you would have to fall quite a bit from 62 million to be irrelevant.
So essentially,
but I also read that he might actually give his money back. I think Fox owes him some money, and he said, depending upon how the show goes, he may give it back so he could do the Twitter show.
Oh, that's
nice. I mean, here's the thing I'll say though, right? Like, and again, right? I'm not defending him or anybody else, but it's almost a strong enough case to say like you can do whatever you want because if you have a strong enough following, you can go to Twitter Spaces, right? I mean, is that what he's on, right? Twitter Spaces or anywhere for that matter, LinkedIn Live, and pretty much, you know what I mean? Like, imagine this, right? Imagine you 15 years ago, right? You got fired and you had a following like he did, right? Where would you go? YouTube, maybe? And that would be videos. I mean, I didn't think they had live, right? Yeah. Now you literally can go on Twitter where we used to update, our friends and stuff, and you can literally watch a show. It's insanity.
I know. It's very good and very bad.
Yeah. Good and bad, right.
The other thing, like just the 10 minutes was fascinating because he gets mad at Zelensky and Lindsey Graham talking about how like killing Russians is good. Okay, yes, all things being equal, killing people is bad. They're at war with Russia. Remember when we killed bin Laden, the whole country celebrated? Like, was Tucker Carlson going, whoa, that was a human being? No, you're at war with somebody. You are happy when they die. But now he's acting like he's pro-life. He's pro-school shooting. But if we talk about dead Russians, he has an issue with it. This guy's the worst, but we need to be more like him.
Here's a question. What was Lindsey Graham doing?
Hanging out.
I mean, you only hear about Lindsey Graham, man, when it's something bad, right? Like Trump needs something and Lindsey Graham's involved, or now Lindsey Graham's walking. Yeah, I will say this about Zelensky, right? That little sweaty rat like that. I mean, I'll never get over that. He does make a lot of appearances places, considering he's at war, right?
Yeah, I mean, he does come from Ukrainian Hollywood. He was a comedian. He understands the media.
That's true.
So I don't know. Listen, here's the other. Oh God, the last thing we had. So he gets mad at Nikki Haley for doing. She's on the campaign trail, and she was like, "Yeah, it would be good if the Ukraine wins." And he comes back. He's like, "Oh, really? Like, why are Republicans so pro-Russia and so pro-Putin? I don't understand." You know that
I'm almost wondering.
Capitalism. They realize they're a communist country, right?
Well, I almost wonder, right? And I don't know if anyone's asked this, but I almost wonder myself. I'm just brainstorming here. Yeah, I'm almost wondering if Russia did win, you don't think Vladimir would do it again somewhere else? No, right?
You don't think it's possible that he's slowly expanding his empire, like every empire in the history of empires, right? That's a leap. It's truly a land dispute, and he just wants what's his, and he has no global ambition.
That sounds right.
But again, why is half the country on Russia's side?
I think Tucker should have him on. But I mean, he probably could get him, right?
Yeah. It's funny, though, the closer you get to Putin, the more you die. So if he got poisoned, that would just be tremendous. Oh, that makes for a good episode.
He was eating his chicken tenders and went out. Remember when he interviewed Kanye or Ye?
Yeah, get that right. He's never going to get on the show if we mispronounce his name. Yeah, I don't know. It's a problem.
Tucker kind of is beginning to sound like that, like Will Ferrell in The Anchorman.
Yeah, but exponentially more dangerous because his viewers have all the guns. That's the problem.
Yeah,
us Jon Stewart fans are gonna have to start arming up because we got nothing.
I used to always say the difference between Fox News and the Daily Show is one of them's real.
Right, the comedy show. Yeah. All right. I think this is a good segue into what we decided to do is brainstorm live. This is very meta on what we need to do to get up to 62 million viewers.
I know the answer to that.
Okay.
Well, on Tucker.
Tucker. I'm sure he wants to be. Well, he has a micro penis, which we know, so we can open the cold email with that. I was thinking. So Robin had a good idea yesterday. I think we should take clips of the show into like 30-second sound bites and put them over AI generated images. So Robin doesn't like Sandra Bullock's face, so he had AI create Sandra Bullock.
This is Sandra, right? This is
Yeah.
This looks like her. Okay, got it.
So this is Sandra Bullock. What was the prompt? Sandra Bullock robbing a convenience store with a machete.
Yeah, and AI drew it perfect.
So this is how AI should be utilized: is you talking over a variety of ugly Sandra Bullock images. What do you think about that?
Horrifying. Yep.
And there's a precedent that's been set because Ricky Gervais and Stephen Merchant and Carl Pilkington do have a radio show that they just animate. We don't have the animation budget, but we have the AI budget. So
We do have an AI budget, right? We could make people. Well, here's the other thing: we can make robots talk.
okay,
Yeah,
we got to do something.
That's an option.
That's all I got. We need. Okay, we keep saying that we have to get guests. We need a Wiccan. We need a Wiccan. We need an incel. We need a flat earther. We need lady boys. We need to be more Jerry Springer. The man has died. There's a vacuum in society, and we must fill it.
And they're all on LinkedIn.
Could we possibly have like Chat GPT on as a guest? Could we like transform it into almost as like a debate?
Listen, Zuckerberg. You know,
The prompt would have to be pretend you're entertaining, and you know what I mean. Like ChatGPT is very boring, very fucking boring. All right, so let's make wizards, incels, flat earthers. Tucker
I
Carlson.
think we could also get people that have really strong opinions one way or the other about things. Like I always like to see two people with opposing opinions, and we could call it crossfire.
Oh, I like that idea. Crossfire would be good.
We could call it LinkedIn. You know what that's a great show about LinkedIn dating, but you know what else we could do is we could do LinkedIn love. Who's found
Oh
love?
shit. Oh my god, we should do the LinkedIn
LinkedIn.
dating game where we have a chick like the old days, and then they'll
That's right.
blind. Oh my god, that's a great idea. Thank you.
That's a great idea.
The redheaded witch contributed.
We need a studio. That's the other thing. We should start a GoFundMe for the studio.
That's
Right
not
beside Joe Rogan's house.
one of us has to pretend to have cancer, and then maybe we'll get the GoFundMe going.
Yeah. We also should have on some people that have, I don't know, interesting names. What are you thinking?
Oh,
Anybody in the audience have any suggestions for us?
if I had found a real Abe Lincoln today, that would have really driven the bit home, but I didn't do that.
I don't. Do we think there's an Abraham? You know what always impressed me about LinkedIn is that it supposedly falls upon the, what is it, 6 degrees of separation?
Oh yeah,
Kevin Bacon discovered.
Yes, yeah. All right, so I think Melissa, right off the bat, she's going to be on the dating game. We have to find 3 single friends, 2 in the Philippines, and an incel.
What if we had guess who's who, right? And you had to guess which, like we said, one of these is a wizard or a leprechaun or whatever, or perhaps even a traveler. And one of them is a whatever, and you have to guess which one it is.
Yep. I like that.
That might be longer than an hour, though.
We might have to expand to 2 hours.
It might be a 2-hour show, yeah.
Yeah. Well, we talked about a Shark Tank spinoff called the Aquarium, right?
That's right.
Yeah, where people come on the show and pitch their products, which I think is a great idea.
I do. I think it's a great idea. You know what I think? I used to be involved in this thing years ago. I went to a couple of them called The Hatchery. And people would get up and pitch their products. And I think, it was interesting. But I think one thing that might help people pitch is if we could help steer them along.
Yeah.
The other thing I think might help people is if we told them how we became so successful, not at the show, but in life.
Yeah, outside of this.
That's right. How we become famous.
Like, I don't know if the audience knows this, but I send a lot of red tubes. And you know what I put in the red tube? Here's the thing. This is 100% open rate. But you know what's going to help the open rate? Hold on, ladies and gentlemen. Mexican roasted chicken lollipops. So you get this in the mail, it rattles. Oh my God, I'm definitely going to open it. Mexican chicken lollipop falls out. I'm going to read the letter. Bada bing, bada boom. Have you ever had an email campaign with 100% open rate? I don't think you have. These are the kind of hot takes that you get on the Eric.
I've never had 100% open rate when I wrote my mom letters from camp.
You should have put in a lollipop.
Exactly. Now, if one wanted to do that marketing there you're talking about, what is that called?
We got to come up with a snappy name. Do you have anything?
I was going to say 100% open rate.
100% open rate is a good name.
I will tell you this. I have a provider of ours who sends me candy every month, and I won't lie to you, they are a favorite.
It's like if you're a witch and you're going to go into a Catholic, you got to give them a little something, a little crystal, right? But crystals are cost prohibitive. So lollipops make a lot more sense.
Exactly.
Right, Robin?
Well, yeah, right. Yeah. I mean, crystals are very expensive.
Well, shiny rocks tend to be. Okay. So we're going to have wizards, incels, flat earthers, Tucker Carlson, gypsies. What else? Cannibalistic.
Well, Robin has suggested we have, what is this, a beauty queen from the Philippines? Miss Philippines?
Filipino beauty queen.
Her?
If we could crowdsource that, if anyone watching today, if the millions of people watching today know any wizards, incels, flat earthers, a Tucker Carlson, gypsies, cannibals, or Filipino beauty queens.
Well, here's another question I have, right? Here's another question. I wonder this. Out of all of our networks, which combined is at least 50 people.
Yep.
Who's the most famous person that they know that they could get onto the show? I'll give you an example.
Yes.
When I was just a kid, I had a friend one time who was really, 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 really into basketball, and his son really liked Tim Duncan, the basketball player.
Yep. Familiar with his
I, at the time, happened to go to college with a buddy who was Tim Duncan's, I don't know if he was an agent or he did something with him. Long story short, I made a dream come true. And they ended up meeting Tim Duncan. Now, I'm not suggesting that we call Tim Duncan because I don't think he would appeal to our audience. But
unless
if someone in our audience, well, that's true. That's true. If Tim wants to sponsor us, Tim, we're all ears. But if someone has a famous connection like that and could get us on the show, we might even let them take Robin's spot. I mean,
the Eric and Rodney Show with Tim Duncan.
with whoever.
That's how you get an audience right there.
That's right. You don't even ask them if they want to be on the show. You say you're part of the show.
Yeah.
And you unveil the logo as
their agent, and we can be like, "Are you ready for Thursday?" No, what am I doing Thursday? I was like, "It's the Eric and Rodney Show with Tim Duncan, shithead."
Yeah, get your mind right. Yeah. Tim's going to dunk it out.
I do like the crossfire. We just have to have people that have like strong. It can't just be that they say they have a strong opinion.
Well, what if we did crossfire and just brainstorming? We did Keith Olbermann and Tucker Carlson.
Oh shit, we should get them on the show. Yeah. That's a great idea.
Try to get Joe Biden.
Oh shit, Bobby G, you're absolutely right. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yes, air guitar champion.
My worry with those guys, though, Bobby, is like, what if they're busy stringing their guitars? Like, here's the question I have, because I never saw a documentary, but I definitely have to check it out. Do they come with a case? Like, is the guy like is he over there pretending? And they're like, what do you? And he's like,
well, they can't break their air guitars in transit. Obviously, you need a case. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it's. I guess there really is a seat for everyone.
There's a bucket for every mop, and we're gonna.
We just happen to be experts at mops and buckets.
It's funny the amount of things we're experts at. All right, listen, we got a list. We got to crowdsource this. We need some weird guests.
We need the best guests that money cannot buy. Right. We need guests that cannot be influenced by money.
Exactly. If
we offered them money, they would say,
"Yeah,
get out. Give it to Robin." You imagine they're like, here I would think, right? It's like, let's say I was a professional air guitar player and your wife's like, or girlfriend or whatever is like, hey, listen, what's going on tonight? I'm training.
Yeah. Sometimes, it's like sometimes parents will get mad at their children for being gay and ostracize them and kick them out of the family. Like, I think that's, I would be, if my kid came to me and was a professional air guitar player, I think that's grounds for like, you got to get out. What did I do?
I also think too, if the kid comes to you and says he wants to be an air guitar player, you now realize that you have they're never leaving home, right?
Right. Their ambitions are
very. She's going to be here.
So, okay, if I'm extrapolating unknown data, they must have time, so they're free from 10 to 11 Eastern Standard Time, Monday through Friday on LinkedIn.
Unless they're tuning it. But I don't. Do you think someone on LinkedIn would say, "Hey, listen, I'm an air guitar player, professional." What makes you professional, though? I mean, I think I could probably do it pretty well.
I think you have to be paid for it. We have big questions. We need big answers. This is why we need professional air guitarists. We're almost.
I worry that they may think we're making fun of them, though.
No, I think they can tell that our interest is genuine. I just want to thank Robin today for persevering through COVID. COVID has killed, I don't know, 50,000 million people worldwide.
It will not kill this show.
Which proves that we're all being babies about it. You showed up to work. Congratulations, Robin. You did it. Now go take. You look sleepy. You sleepy? You should take a nap.
Are you sleepy? You know, the funny thing is that COVID will not kill this show.
Unfortunately, we will power on. We'll be here tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen, from 10
That's
to 11
right.
Eastern Standard Time. See you then. Bye, America.